Before Secrets of Strixhaven, I was messing around with a mono black ramp controlled Ugin at the top end type deck, and I was having a whole lot of fun with that deck. However, when the new set came out, we got a brand new Planeswalker, Professor Delian Fel, and that kind of pushed my Ugin deck towards a Golgari deck, and I think I got something really interesting for all of you today. Now, Professor Delian Fel is a 4 CMC Planeswalker, 5 loyalty at the start, and 4 abilities. First one, +2, you gain 3 life. Simple enough. The interesting thing about this Planeswalker is the next turn, if you did the +2 on the first turn, you can emblem him. -6, you get an emblem with whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. And that's pretty sweet because we are running, of course, the Unholy Annex plus Furdock Core combo. So every time the Furdock Core goes off, it's going to drain the opponent for 2 life, and we're going to gain 2 life. But if we also have the Professor Delian Fel emblem on the field, we're going to double up on that damage. Of course, it doesn't always work out that way. Often the opponent has something on the field that we need to get rid of. Well, Delian Fel can protect himself. -3, destroy target creature. Or if we need some cards, which once in a while we do, we can 0 him, you draw a card, and lose 1 life. This card has impressed me so much, and I think it definitely has a place somewhere in the meta. The rest of the deck is, well, just stopping creatures. We have a whole package of removal, Bitter Triumph, Nowhere to Run, and Strategic Betrayal. And then Wither Bloom Charm can serve as removal. It can serve as card draw, or also gaining a little bit of life if we need it. It would be pretty interesting to be able to have Professor Delian Fel emblem on the field and to end an opponent with gaining 5 life. We'll see if we can pull that off. Then we have a little bit of ramp. Of course, we have the Ancient Cornucopia and the Furdock Core. Now, the Ancient Cornucopia is in here for one very specific reason. Withering Curse, a new board wipe. It says all creatures get -2/-2 until the end of turn. However, there is infusion. If you gain life this turn, destroy all creatures instead. If you have an Ancient Cornucopia on the field and you cast the Withering Curse, you can gain 1 life and then trigger the destroy all creatures instead. Very interesting, very cool, powerful card. Beautiful Explorer is also in the deck because this thing ramps us a little bit. It also provides us with another demon for our Unholy Annex to trigger off of. Then we have a little bit more removal and the big boy at the top end, Ugin, Eye of the Storms. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that card. Over in the lands, we have 2 interesting things, Soulstone Sanctuary and 2 copies of Restless Cottage for a little bit of creature damage if we need it. And then 2 copies of Adventurers in just to trigger maybe life gain for the Withering Curse, or maybe if we have the Professor Delian Fel emblem, maybe we can turn that 2 damage into a little bit of, or 2 life gain into a little bit of damage. So that is the deck. We're going to try it out on the ladder and see if we can tilt out some people with old Ugin here. Everyone loves this wonderful dragon planeswalker, right? See you over in the games. Wow, look at me playing a control list in standard. You love to see it. Opening hand looks sketchy. Let's trust it. If we draw the 3rd land, which we should, we are playing 24 lands, not 25 lands, which maybe this deck, maybe it is playing 25 lands. I think it's 24. It could go up to 25. However, we are playing plenty of mana rocks at 3. We should be okay to, get enough mana to deploy our big stuff. Of course, there you go. The top end is not that high. We do have the Unholy Annex at 5 mana and the Devious Cover Up at 5 mana. But other than that, we don't have a whole lot of stuff that costs a ton of mana. So the opponent does have the Voice of Victory this time. Let's go out with the Unholy Annex. We're going to draw cards, take a little bit of damage. It's fine. The opponent is going to be threatening our life total. However, once we get the Furdock Core on the field, or even the Mutable Explorer next turn, we can start stabilizing a little bit, maybe find a board wipe away all the things that the opponent is doing. Camball, what does this thing do? Whenever one or more tokens your opponent opponents control enter. Oh my god. For each of them, create a tapped token that's a copy of it. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever one or more tokens you control enter, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's a problem for me, right? Like, that's a huge problem for me. But we do have the Withering Curse, so we need to be able to gain life. I can't gain life this turn. I also don't want to put out the Immutable Explorers because that's going to be creating a token. So I think what I need to do is go out with the Furdock Core this time around. And then the Overgrown Tomb. And then what we can do next turn is we can use 3 of the mana to put out the Ancient Cornucopia and then the Withering Curse to wipe away the opponent's board. And that should put us into a pretty good state. If they end up playing a little bit to the board, we'll be in a really good spot. Unfortunately, Scavenger's Talent. Oh, no, sorry. Wrong one. I thought it was Bandit's Talent. Scavenger's Talent, not a big deal. Oh, don't... Oh, I love that. Camball working with Get Lost, so they get to create their own tokens. Okay. The thing is, the opponent is down to 2 cards, and we are about to wipe the board, and then we have a pretty good follow-up with the Delian Fel, Mutable Explorers. You know, we'll find more Unholy Annexes. They're always around. Okay, that's the turn for the opponent. They get to drain us a little bit. Camball is a pretty sweet card, man. Like, that thing's impressing me quite a bit here. We did find a little bit of, you know, goodness there with the Death Cap Blade, so we are ramping up. So if we do find an Ugin, we're going to be in good shape. We have to wipe the board. There's no way that we can't do this. And it's a good thing to be doing this, because I did want to showcase that this works, right? Ancient Cornucopia plus the Withering Curse is just such a cool little combo, I guess, mini combo. We can guarantee that we can have a board wipe for 3 mana. Seems good. So the opponent is probably going to have some creatures that they're going to play to the board, but we do have Delian Fel to come in and wipe them out. Now, if they don't play a creature to the board, we can get Delian on the field, and that would be really good if we can just +1 him and have him sit there. So they leveled up Scavenger's Talent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, target player just player mills 2 cards. I'm not too worried about that. Now, do I want to go with the Mutable Explorers, or do I want to go with the Wither? We're going to go. I still have the option of, how much mana do I have? I have 3 mana available to me. I could just use this to destroy the Voice of Victory. Yeah. This is the safest thing to do. It's fine. I was kind of debating whether or not I wanted to fire off the Withering Bloom to destroy the Voice of Victory, but we can leave Delian Fel a little bit vulnerable. And I think this time around, I will put out the Mutable Explorer. Ramps us a little bit with the Mutavault, and yeah, maybe we can start getting in for some damage soon. We are... Maybe I will be using, actually, the Witherbloom Charm to sacrifice one of these map tokens to draw some cards. That actually doesn't sound like too bad of a plan. What is the level 3 on the Scavenger's Talent? So at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice 3 other non-land permanents. If you do, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Okay. Now that I'm thinking also a little bit more about what the opponent has, like, they definitely have more Get Lost in hand. So leveling up the Delian Fel, or not leveling up, but +2ing the Delian Fel using the Witherbloom Curse, I don't know if that would have been the best course of action. Okay, we're milling some cards. There goes our Ugin. Oh, it would have been so nice to draw the Ugin off the top to get rid of the Camball. But we did find the Deadly Cover-Up. So is that what we're doing here? I think I'm going to draw a card. Okay, just a land. You know what? Let's draw 2 more cards. Takes an action here, gain a little bit of life. And we find okay stuff. We are up to, how much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can go Ancient Cornucopia plus Mutable Explorer. I can go Unholy Annex plus Bitter Triumph. I like Unholy Annex plus Bitter Triumph. And that's going to cost me 5 mana. So we'll put this in tapped. It's fine. Unholy Annex to the field. Bitter Triumph to remove the Camball. Do I want to lose life? I think I'm actually okay losing life. I don't really want to throw away any of these cards. And yeah, let's attack in. Oh, we actually had 1 extra mana. I don't know where that extra mana came from, but I must have miscounted somewhere. It's fine. Okay. Furdock Core could be relevant for the future. And with the Unholy Annex on the field, Fel on the field, they are going to have limited Get Lost. They're going to have to make a choice of which one they want to destroy with their Get Lost. We could be in pretty good shape here. I also think I probably want to level this up to get the Demon on the field before they decide to wipe it away. Another Camball. This guy just not leaving me alone. Obsessive Pursuit. Interesting. I love what the opponent's doing. Like, this is a very interesting deck. Unfortunately, I think our deck is kind of in a pretty good place to deal with what they're doing. So maybe what I want to do this turn is Deadly Cover-Up and get rid of the get losts, and that will mean that our Unholy Annexes and Professor Delian Fel will be pretty safe. Okay, sure. So no point in attacking in. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to wipe them away. I'm going to go grab these two. Sure. I'm going to go grab the Unholy Annexes, I think. We'll gain a slight amount of life. Not a big deal. Not Unholy Annex. What am I saying? Get lost. We'll get rid of the get lost. They had one in hand. Brutal. What else is in their hand? Just a Super Shredder. Not a big deal. Because they have the Super Shredder in hand, I think what I'm going to do this time around is actually plus the Delian Fel so that he is in a position where he can destroy something next turn. And from here, Mutable Explorer, or so if I do this, no, I can only do one thing. Yeah, Mutable Explorer. Okay. And I'm going to crack the map. Why not? You find... Ooh, that's a pretty good card on the top of our library. The opponent is going to need a bit of a miracle here to be able to bounce back. I think we're at 16. We've taken so much damage to this game, but this deck just kind of just gains life, which is why I think the Delian Fel Ultimate is, although it's not like super necessary for the deck to function, it just kind of works. I do have to be careful, though, of getting milled out. The opponent is sacrificing a lot of things. These scavenger talents are technically milling us, and I don't really have a fast clock against the opponent. I'm going to need to start leveling up, or sorry, turning on the Restless Cottages, these Mutabolts, and swinging in to get the opponent's life total down. Okay. So they're leveling up the Scavenger's Talent. They don't want to put the Super Shredder on the field. Nope, there it is. So they can sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. They would have to sacrifice these 3? Wow. That is surprising. Okie dokie. So they're going to mill us for 6. I think I'm at a 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oops. Whoa. Hey, hang on a second here. This is a lot more a lot more milling than I had originally anticipated. I don't really want to be drawing cards at this point. Okay, so we are at 14. I need to get my clock going, which means maybe it's using Professor Fel, destroy the chem ball, and then start swinging in with creatures, and just kind of put the opponent on having to draw something good. I don't really want to put the Ugin on the field. I think the Ugin is not going to be the best way to go about things. Probably the best way to go about it is going to be slamming this thing, leveling this thing up. How much mana do I have? Let's put this on the field. It's okay. I guess I could have attacked in for a little bit more damage had I gone with the Mutavaults, but it's fine. I think we're set up. We have 52 cards for evidence. So they need something big here. However, they do have 3 things that they can sacrifice, so that's milling another 12. Are we dead? I might actually mill out here. If they decide to crack all of their tokens, I don't want to highlight them. I don't want to give the opponent a chance or give them a hint that I think they can actually mill me out here, because each one of these represents 4 mil. And we're at 12 cards in the library. Please don't notice, opponent. I have to kill the opponent on the next turn, which I can do. Oh, I think the opponent threw. Okay, so they can mill 8 right now, I think, because they can crack the treasure and maybe the clue. No, I think they still... No. The foods cost 2 to mill. Okay, so we're at 8 cards in library. I think the... Oh, no, of course. Oh, yeah. Of course, they just do this. The opponent had my number the whole time. That's really cool, man. You like to see games like this. I don't mind losing a game like this. The opponent had a really good game plan the whole time, and they deployed it really well. I just got milled out by Scavenger's Talent. I've never seen that. And look at our board state. Our board state is absolutely cracked. I guess I needed to be a little bit more aggressive. You know what? Some losses leave you with a big old smile on your face. In that last game, I bet there were some things that I could have done differently, but I was so fixated on removing the opponent's creatures that I wasn't really respecting the mill strategy from the opponent. So anyways, very interesting situation in that one. But I love to see people doing something unique, playing card Kellyan, a card that I've never seen anybody play before. It's so much more interesting than this. than this. I hate this. Although, again, probably I'm going to be playing Stormchaser's Talent very soon. I know it's kind of a tired strategy. People have been Stormchaser's Talent plus Boomerang Basic. Wow, very creative. But I do want to try out the Izzet deck. I haven't played it for... this bums me out a little bit because y'all know that my little emblem for the channel is the little Fire Mage. I like playing these types of decks. This is my area. I love aggro decks. I love prowess, that kind of stuff. But the deck has become way too powerful, and now I'm kind of shying away from it. And that bums me out because I actually do want to play more of the aggro stuff, but Slickshot Show Off and company are just a little bit too on the nose these days. So now I'm kind of taking a back seat to them. But that, like I said, does kind of bum me out that I have to take that approach. Anyways, we found the Furdock core with the Unholy Annex. That's going to be pretty good. We are going to take a little bit of damage here. What we really need to find on this turn is a land on the upkeep. If I can find a land, I can go Furdock core and know where to run. If I don't find a land, it's going to be a little sketch. Now, the opponent's just digging. Opt, sleight of hand. They're going to hit us for 4. And did they not find a land? That's crazy. In all of that drawing, they did not see a single land. And what we are the bunch of Giga Chads over here, and we did find our land. So we get to remove the 1/1 Otter, and we get to start draining the opponent with our Unholy Annex. And we found the Strategic Betrayal, which is going to be huge for their Eddie Merc Crab. As long as they don't deploy it this turn, we're going to be able to slow them down a little bit. Which, this kind of feels like it's going to be an Eddie Merc Crab turn, right? So should I just unlock... You know what? Let's unlock the Ritual Chamber. If they want to take some time to bounce my 6/6 Demon, they can do that. I have a feeling it's going to be an Eddie Merc Crab to tap down, but they were going to respond with the Eddie Merc Crab if I use the Strategic Betrayal to get rid of the graveyard. This way, we have a 6/6 on the field. I can still use the Strategic Betrayal to wipe away their board. Not a big deal. They are, man, I love Unholy Annex. It's such a good card, and I know the Nostalgic Necro is going to be watching this video. Nostalgic Necro has taken a backseat to content creation. I hope you're doing well, man. Taking a break, doing what you're doing. And I'll keep rocking some Unholy Annexes for you here and there so you can appreciate and have fun vicariously through my gameplay. Okay, so the opponent seemingly holding up another Eddie Merc Crab. No, oh, this is good. So without mana to put out an Eddie Merc Crab, I think we absolutely take this opportunity to remove their graveyard and their board. And I don't think they can stop that for 1 mana with all the mana that we have available to us. And we'll throw out the Mutable Explorer. Why not? Get a creature on the field, another attacker for future things. Keep draining the opponent down. We got a 7-turn clock. Don't you love it? Oh man, it's so dirty. Slickshot Show Off. Thankfully, we do have the Bitter Triumph if they decide to load up old Slicky here. You're using a Roaring Furnace on my poor Mutable Explorer? That is rude. This poor little guy didn't do anything to anybody. How dare you do that? Look at this innocent looking face here. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine, right? If they have, oh, nothing. Nothing over there. Well, I suppose you do that, you do this, and you get the beatdown going on. Boom, boom. Suddenly, our 7-turn clock has turned into something a little bit faster. We have the board wipe, so if they end up putting... We have the board wipes. If they end up putting something onto the field this turn, we just get rid of it, and then Furdock Core and Mutable Explorer, or Mutable going in. They're at 4. We have the Unholy Annex. Man, this feels good. This is something that I threw together. It was built on the original Ugin deck. Now, it's not overly creative, but it is nice to see a deck that I threw together actually function properly. I don't know if other people are using the Withering Curse with the Cornucopia. It just seems like it makes sense, so why not? But yeah, for something that's a little bit outside of my normal wheelhouse to actually be able to throw the cards together in a way that does feel right, it's satisfying. And making an Izzet player rope out, is there anything anything more satisfying than that as well, right? Isn't that fun? Somebody, you're playing the deck, or at least one of the, let's say, top 3 decks in the format, and then you're gonna salty rope at the end of the game. Come on, man, don't do that. Let's hit them with a your go. and then an Oko kiss. Just, why, you gotta fill the time somehow, right? This is a full salty rope. This is a full rope opponent. Come on now. Don't do that. Alright. They pass it. That is exactly what just happened there. So let's load up the Mutavault. And we got to go through the ropes again. Actually, I had a number of comments on my how to fix Arena, or Arena needs to fix these things video, which I mostly focused on the economy side of things. But there were a number of comments from people saying that this is the thing that they need to address, or at least one of the things as well. People Alt F4ing the timer, the way it works. They really need to modify it in a way that's a little bit better. I guess there are a lot of people out there that run into ropers. I do occasionally, but I think it's like probably like 1 in 15, 1 in 20 games I get somebody like this. Sometimes slower players here and there, but like full-on ropers, people that have just quit the game, not super common, but they could make it a little bit faster. All right, we're on the board. We took a hard loss in game 1, but this deck can win against even a very good Izzet deck. I also forgot to mention that I have been playing quite a bit of best of 1. I think this is going to be the 3rd video in a row that is a best of 1 video. I will get back to best of 3, but I think until the meta kind of calms down a little bit, until I see all these new cards, I'm just going to enjoy playing best of 1 for a little while. Okay, so I think it's fine. You gotta kill the Llanowar Elf, right? We slow them down to just a little bit. That way, maybe our deadly cover-up can be more effective once we get to it. But if we're not able to get to the deadly cover-up because they flood out the board with a whole bunch of scary stuff, then what's the point? So from here we have, man, all of these are such good choices. I think you go with the Unholy Annex when you're on a clear board, though. Do they have a flash creature? Is that what they're doing here? What are they doing for 2 mana? Nothing? That's interesting. Okay, well, we're down to 15, but we do have now the Furdock Core or the Mutable Explorer to get us a demon on the field, and that is an Earthbent land. So, we are going to try... We're going to try to get rid of all of the forest. I think that is probably what we're going to gear up towards. What's the best way of going about that? I guess it's putting out the Looming Marsh and then the Mutable Explorer. The problem is I'm not going to have the cards in the graveyard to be able to do Evidence 6. And I might need to wipe the board before then. Okay, we'll see. Definitely I'll chump block with the Mutable Explorer if I need to. And then that'll give us 5 if we can get one more. Hey, okay, so that's bad news, right? That's real bad news. They got the early Sapling Nursery. They were pretty quick to get that down. So now what do we got to do? Oh boy, actually kind of scary. I think what I need to do is actually make a demon and play a little bit of defense for a few minutes and hope that we can get a good deadly cover up off. The problem is that this thing has the ability to give their tree folk and forest indestructible, so we might not have the opportunity to wipe the board. We're gonna have to hope that they tap out. Huh. Yeah, early sapling nursery against our deck is probably one of the better things that you can do, because it just keeps spewing out these 3/4s, and a little unfortunate that I couldn't get around to the board wipe. But okay, so here is what we're gonna have to board wipe here. How much mana am I gonna have? I do have enough. I put this out. I can Furdock 4 plus Deadly Cover Up. Oh, it'd be really swell if they cracked the Fable Passage right now. Although they might... Can they just go infinite here with the Fecund Green Shell? I can't remember. Whenever this creature enters or another creature you control with toughness greater than its power enters, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped, otherwise put it in your hand. So they're saving the Fable Passage. Okie dokie. Well, I think I don't have much of a choice. I have to wipe the board at this point. They cannot protect all of their creatures with the nursery, but unfortunately we also do not have the ability to do evidence 6. It'd be really nice to get rid of their forests, but that's not going to happen. So they're going to make a 3/4 at the end of this turn. They're going to make 2 3/4s because of the Earth Bent land. And also their lands are going to get bigger and tramplier. I think you crack the Fable Passage here if you're the opponent, right? I think we're toast. I don't see myself coming back from this one. The Sapling Nursery, a card that I can't deal with. This deck was built for best of 3, and in the sideboard I do have Maelstrom Pulse for dealing with this kind of stuff. Maybe now that I switched the deck to best of 1 for at least this time being, maybe it might have been a good idea to bring in at least 2 Maelstrom Pulses into the main board instead of having maybe Nowhere to Runs. Maybe cut down one one Bitter Triumph, one Nowhere to Run, and put in 2 of the Maelstrom Pulses. I think that actually might be a better deck in the end, because the Maelstrom Pulse can still hit Planeswalkers, and then it can hit the enchantments, and it can also wipe out a whole wide board of Tree Folk, if that's the case. Okay, Ice Till Explorer. Okay. You know what? I think we're going to say good game to the opponent. We're going to let them have it. I don't want to sit here. Maybe we find a board wipe. We wipe them out one more time, but they're just going to keep flooding out the board. And probably they're going to be able to protect them with the Sapling Nursery. So I think we're dead in 1 turn. So a little bit rough there that they had the turn 4 Sapling Nursery. But hey, that sometimes beats against the mono green landfall deck. A couple of weeks ago, I did play the mono green landfall deck. And in my landfall deck, I was focused more on the harmonizer side of things, trying to get the OTK. I do believe that the decks with the Sapling Nursery are the better decks overall because they're more resilient. However, for content's sake, it's always better to have a big old hasty land that is trampling in. It's a lot more fun when you're harmonizing up things. So that's why I went that way. But definitely that deck is very powerful and very good. I don't know what the opponent's on. I'm going to run out the Unholy Annex. It's possible that they have a Get Lost. And no Get Lost. Okay, so next turn we try to get our Furdock Core or Mutable Explorer on the field and hope that they don't interact with our... Okay. Well, there's a Delian Fel. So they are going to try to do the thing. And we cannot stop it. So, from here, does it matter what I run out? Furdock Core or Mutable Explorer. It doesn't really matter. We'll go with the Mutable Explorer. It'll trigger at the end of turn. They get drained a little bit. And now we have to contend with this emblem on the other side of the field, which we can also kind of work towards. This might end up being kind of an interesting matchup. Ooh, kind of like that. Okay, the opponent with the Day of Judgment to wipe the board on a singular Mutable Explorer. Okay. I am fine with that. Do they create the emblem? They do not. They're taking their time. Well, okay, hold up now. So I can try to hit this card now. if I really wanted to. Do I risk losing my Mutavault just to get in a little bit of chip damage here? I don't hate the idea. So we're going to do this. We're going to play out our Ancient Cornucopia. And I'm going to try. I'm going to try loading up the Mutavault and getting Delian Fel down to 5. No, they have the removal. Bitter Triumph. Requiting Hex. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So they might get their Delian Fel emblem this turn still, but if they don't, we're going to Ugin next turn. We still have plenty of mana for that. No, we have exact mana for that. They do have the Get Lost. Okay, that's fine. We do have the backup Unholy Annex. If they don't, I hope they draw a card here with Delian Fel. Okay. That gives us the opening. I don't want to contend with the emblem. I don't know. I feel like there must be some infinite combo with the emblem at some point. I'm not playing it, but Bloodthirsty Conquerors exist, and plenty of other creatures that are in the format that just drain you. Okay. Moss White, Moss Wood, what is it? Moss Wood Dread Knight. Cool. Well, Ugin. Cooler. Bye-bye, Delian Fel. Our Planeswalker is better than your Planeswalker. And I probably shouldn't have put that out. It's fine. It didn't end up punishing me. So they have the Dread Knight that can hit Ugin down to 6, but it's not a big deal. They're going to have a hard time getting rid of that. They probably do have more Get Losts. That was only the first one. Esper Origins, Desperation Draw. Or Desperation Surveil, I should say. They leave one on top, though. So whatever their draw is for the next turn is going to be a good thing. There's the Ral Zarek. So Ral Zarek goes up to 4, which is okay because we have the Restless Cottage. And the opponent scoops it up. So next turn, probably we would know where to run, turn on the Restless Cottage, hit the Ral Zarek, and go from there. Wow. I was a little doubtful that we were going to be able to come back with that one, but hey, Ugin tilts people out. Game number 5. So far, 2-2. We took a tough loss against the middle opponent. I think that was a fun game, though, at the very least. We keep getting these hands where it's like, am I going to draw the third land? And so far, we haven't been punished, but I'm going to keep pushing the envelope until I get absolutely wrecked. We'll see. This time around, Adventurer's Inn showing up. It's a cool card. You know, it's not bad. Gain 2 life. It's untapped land. Makes generic mana. What's wrong with that? Momo. And also not punished. You know what? We're going to take the opportunity to get rid of a Momo. Momo gives a discount to all of their flyers. It's an annoying creature. The Strategic Betrayal is probably not going to be able to pinpoint something in the future. So let's just remove it now. And let's go out with the Mutable Explorer. Boom, on the field, makes us a Mutavault token. And now we got this cute little boy out here. Look at him. Look at him. Just adventuring in this little moss cave. What's he looking for? Oh boy. Are they going to hit me with an Ang here? Is that what I'm expecting? I'm not going to attack him with the Mutable Explorer. It's not worth it. So is it Furdock Core or is it Unholy Annex? It's Unholy Annex. It has a bigger upside. I think we're going to hit with Ang. Nope. Wow. Still no attack. I think with the Ang, the cool thing with the Unholy Annex is if they did bounce it, ooh, yikes, we could put it out for either side for 2 mana, and that seems okay to me. Hey, the opponent did that in our second main phase, giving us the opportunity to put this map on the Mutable Explorer, and we hit our land drop because of it. Oh, opponent in shambles over there, giving us the opportunity to play out our maps on the Mutable Explorer, drawing 2 lands. Yes! I'll take that. You lose an Unholy Annex, but you draw 2 lands. Seems fair to me. Okie dokie. Well, let's try it again. Ooh, okay. Let's get the Furdock Core. So now we are up to Ugin mana if this Furdock Core resolves. What are you going to do, opponent? They have a bunch of flash creatures. Definitely not attacking in with our poor Explorer. And this time the Unholy Annex does trigger. We drain them for 2 life and draw a second Mutable Explorer. They got this Sky Coach Conductor. Okay. I imagine the Sky Coach Conductor is pretty good with Aang. You have him on the field, you just keep bouncing him. But in this position, things are... Oh, hello. I like this. I like this very much. They're going to use the All Aboard to reset their Quantum Riddler. Yeah. Yeah. That's prime stuff. I love it. Drawing cards. Quantum Riddler. OP card. So what are we going to do here? We're going to take 2 damage, of course. And are we going to try to jam Ugin? Or are we going to try to nowhere to run the Sky Coach? I guess you just jam the Ugin, right? Okay, Ugin aboard. So Ugin goes and gives us the opportunity to get rid of the Quantum Riddler no matter what. They erode the Quantum Riddler to get a basic land. But doesn't erode hit Planeswalkers? Wouldn't you think that you would want to maybe are we going to draw, or are we going to... Am I going to put out the Mutable Explorer, or am I going to draw a card here is what I'm wondering. I think I kind of like drawing a little bit better than putting out the Mutable Explorer. What is it really doing? Wouldn't you think you'd want to erode away the Ugin? They must have 2 erodes, right? That's the case. So we are going to draw a card. We're probably going to draw our second Ugin, because we're very lucky. We get to ramp a little bit. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, well, we're still draining the opponent. They're down to 14 now, and we are at a very healthy 29, going down to 27 thanks to the Sky Coach Conductor constantly hitting us, but not such a big deal. However, they do have more roads for our Delian Fel and future Ugins. How do you feel about this card? I have not used it yet. I did draft one because it was available. I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I'll pick one up. Fine. But I don't know how I feel about that card yet. Okay, let's unlock the Ritual Chamber before they use Get Lost on the Unholy Annex to remove it. That way we just get a little bit of extra value out of it. And then... I could start attacking in with my Furdock Core, but I think I'd rather just load up the field with some stuff. That's fine. Fine, right? It's super fine. You know what? I'm going to take the opportunity to remove the Aven Interrupter, maybe, actually, so that I get a free Mutable Explorer on the following turn. Okie dokie. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Sure, all aboard the Aven Interrupter. So now they have 2 3s everywhere, and they can plot something else. So our Mutable Explorer has been successfully sent to the Shadow Realm. And we are sitting here with a bunch of lands, but we do have board wipes. A bunch of lands. Oh, yeah, and board wipes. Did I forget to mention the board wipe part about that? They're down to 1 card. They're not attacking in. We draw the Ancient Cornucopia. They know what's happening. They're just getting drained down slowly. They can't do anything about the Unholy Annex. And the opponent is donezo. Maybe playing control is kind of fun. I think I got 2 more left in me. This time around, we're only going to go 7 games because these games are going a little bit longer than the typical aggro stuff that I play. Hey, look what we have to deal with one more time. What a fun mini game that my deck has decided to jam into this video. Will he draw the 3rd land or won't he? Can he find it? Hey, we find it. Always lucky, right? So, Restless Cottage onto the field. Adventurers in next turn. We can hold up the Nowhere to Run, because why not? And then Death Cap to put Mutable Explorer, Furdock Core, whatever, on the field. The play pattern is very samey in this deck, I will say. Oh, the opponent on Jeskai control, though, by the looks of things. So are they going to allow my poor Mutable Explorer to actually resolve, or are they going to have a No More Lies for it? What? You had a No More Lies for my Mutable Explorer? How creative. I hate this deck. I'm never not going to hate this deck. Oh, by the way, we do not have anything to stop that. We are so dead. Are you ready to get math? What is it called? Mathemagics? We're going to get Mathemagics this game. It doesn't matter. We're so dead. So, actually, to be perfectly honest, this is the first time that I have been met with a resonating loot on the other side of the field. I know people are playing this card quite a bit, but I personally have not seen anybody play it yet. And if you also haven't seen somebody play it, you're probably in for a bit of a treat, because I think It's a pretty cool thing that the opponent is about to smack us with. Consult the star charts. Dig in for counter magic for my poor mutable explorer. Why do people hate this little cute little guy? Look at him. Find two juicy cards, but neither of those cards allows them to stop the mutable explorer from going. Do they have the lightning helix? They don't. Bitter Triumph, I don't imagine is going to be overly good in this matchup, so we'll just put that to the graveyard, and then if we draw a land, maybe we try to jam the Ugin. Ugin is the way that I get rid of the resonating loop, so there is some slight hope that we can maybe do something, but the opponent did just do consult the star charts. They did now just do stock up. Certainly, they're going to be able to find all of the resources and cards that they need to end us, but they don't. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna try attacking in. Get him down. Ooh, cheeky. Alright. Murdoch Core. Oh, the Jeskai Revelation on everything. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Alright, that's what you hate to see it. I think from this point, probably it's good just to scoop it up. We'll put the Furdock, I guess I put the Furdock Core onto the field. Maybe I should have Withering Cursed and wiped away all of these 1/1s while I had the chance. Actually, that was definitely the play. But oh yeah, this card allows you to draw cards as well. What a card. Resonating Loot. We're gonna see one more draw, and I think probably it's not worth sitting in here. Okay, yeah. GG opponent with the Northwind Avatar. They go grab the juicy thing, but we're making a video here. We wanna hurry things along. One more game. Q-Man is our last opponent for this video, I believe. Yeah, it should be good enough. And we have 4 lands, Mutable Explorer, Furdock Core, and an Ugin on the top end. Unfortunately, we haven't really been seeing the Delian Fel coming out and doing a lot of fun stuff. I was really hoping that I would be able to get up to his ultimate, but honestly, I think the ultimate is such a low probability of happening. Like, you probably shouldn't count on it if you're playing this deck. Like, it could happen, but it's probably not gonna happen. The opponent 2 lands and nothing else. That is interesting. So let's Furdock Core. They might have a Get Lost, but Get Lost doesn't work against the Furdock Core. It is in fact an artifact. I kind of feel like they were sitting on a Get Lost. Which means, do I really want to run out the Ritual Chamber? What I could do is just Ancient Cornucopia into Mutable Explorer. And I think this is probably a pretty good spot, because that means next turn we can go out with our buddy Ugin, get rid of their Voice of Victory. We have 7 mana to their 2 mana. And this is devastating, I think, for old Q-Man over there. Yikes. Okay, we take 3. Not a big deal. Really, the top of their library is not treating them well whatsoever, and we just do this. That's gotta hurt. That can't feel good. We gain 3 life, go back up to 15. Here comes the Get Lost. Accurately predicted that the Get Lost was present in the opponent's hand. What a genius. But that's fine. We got rid of their annoying Voice of Victory, and they scoop it up. You know what? That wasn't much of a game. Am I going to go wrap up or play one more? Alright, I decided to leave it with that last win over the mono-white opponent who got land screwed, because you know what? I got other stuff to record today, and this deck is pretty much going to do the same thing each time. It's going to hope to run into creature opponents. It's going to try to keep them under control, and then slam your Delian Fel, your Unholy Annex, and your Ugin. I think it works pretty well. I don't know if there's anything that I would change in the deck. Honestly, Witherbloom Charm is not overly impressive. So I might go down some number of those. I do think having like something like a Maelstrom Pulse in the deck could actually be quite helpful. This card is just pretty flexible. It is 3 mana, it is sorcery speed, but the thing is, we're kind of delaying a lot in this deck. So because we are dirtling along, the cost at 3 mana is not such a big problem. I also don't know if I would want maybe a 2 CMC ramp spell instead of Mutable Explorer. I like the Mutable Explorer, but probably Furlock Core plus Unholy Annex is enough to get our demon triggers. And the Mutable Explorer is cute with the Mutavaults. They do sometimes come into play, but we do have our creature lands with the Soulstone Sanctuary and Restless Cottage, and those are probably enough to attack the opponent. So I don't know how good the Mutable Explorer actually is in this deck. I think I would kind of prefer to have something here that could maybe help us ramp into Delian Fel a little bit easier. You know what might be kind of a cool card is maybe the if I know how to spell, first year student. This thing, studious first year student, put it out on turn 1. Then on turn 2, we can choose to ramp in growth. Maybe that's kind of a cute little way to go about things. I'm not really sure. So that is definitely an option, though. It gives us a blocker. It helps with the ramp strategy. Something to explore. But if you have any suggestions for this one, do let me know. I'm all ears. I do want to probably play this deck a little bit more, take it into best of 3, and have some more fun with it, because I do think Professor Delian Fel is a very interesting card, and I would like to see it more. I would also maybe try to lean into that emblem a little bit more as well, but it's a little tricky to get that out. A lot of people are playing Planeswalker removal, surprisingly, even though Planeswalkers are not so abundant. They did kind of tack the destroy Planeswalker onto a lot of cards, so they do die quite easily. That's it for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below, like the video, of course, help this channel grow a little bit if you can. Of course, sub up if you made it to this point, you're not subbed up yet. Help me out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Salang Ipana. Bye-bye.